Hi, I'm Todd Edwards.
Hi, I'm Surkin. I think I've always been into like editing samples and cut up. Todd is basically one of the only producers where I never understood how he was doing that. So I've always been like very studying his style and trying to understand the way he builds melody with cut ups, and that was very interesting to see him in action and see what he actually samples and see like the behind the curtain. I think Todd is definitely the specialist of cut-ups in house music, so his influence was huge on my music.
What I enjoy about Surkin's music, what I really like about it is that he was doing cut-ups, but that there was an electronic influence there. It was different. It wasn't more of the UK garage type thing. It actually had, I guess, the influence of the French electronic scene. Very vibrant with chords and whatnot. So I'm always fascinated to see what people's takes on sampling are, and I really like the way he did it. And he was very dynamic and diverse in the way he approached his tracks.
I think my favorite remix Todd did was a remix for Phoenix. Actually, that's one of the tracks that really got me into cut up.
Really?
Yeah, this one, and also the Saint-Germain remixes, and obviously Face to Face. Also really like the one you did for I Can Libdo.
Yeah.
I Walk Away.
What made me say yes to the collaboration at Sound Pellegrino first was meeting Techie Latex and Emil from the label was a blast, and to me there was an instant connection. When you meet kindred spirits. Obviously the idea of coming and meeting Surkin and just combining two different viewpoints on music, two different styles, but yet still sharing a similar interest in sampling, definitely played a part in it as well. And also, I'm as an artist, I've done a lot on my own, and now being a little older and a little wiser, it's more enjoyable to share with other people and get different ideas. One of the good things is I had all my sample banks in Ableton. Now, I just started using Ableton not too long ago, and when you don't use something a lot, you start to forget about how to use it. Fortunately, where I was a little rusty, Surkin knew how to use my software better than I did.
My basic setup for making music is just a computer. And I'm using Reason production software. Reason is the one that I prefer visually and technically.
I want to add that he's underrating himself with the way a lot of people just use a computer, but I've seen him at work, and he's not letting the computer do the work for him. He's very hands-on, and that's very important to me because a lot of times it's very easy to let software be the silent partner. And as for myself, my basic setup has been the same for many years. Really, in the 15 years I've been making music, the only thing that has changed is the computer that I use, the software, which is Digital Performer. Before that, it was an old version of Cakewalk. And before that, it was an Ensoniq EPS sampler, which I did most of my work on, which I only had like 5 seconds of sampling time. But I use an S6000 sampler to build my sample libraries, and then I use a Juno 106 to do most of the bassline sounds, and then record everything into Digital Performer. That's pretty standard for my work.
So basically what we did is just go back and forth, but at every part of the process we were basically together. So let's say like Todd started a bit, we would import the drums in my session, and then I would play around with like some vocal cut-ups, and then take it back to Todd's computer, and he will play more harmonies, and then we will add a bass line on the other computer, and it was really easy technically to do.
The collaboration definitely happened organically. The only direction either one of us put in is the first day Surkin played drum pattern played a drum pattern, and I vibed off of that. And the second day, I said, why don't I do a Todd-style drum pattern and see how he vibes off that. It allowed for the creativity to flow off of the tempo, the style of the drums, and that really does make a difference as to how a track develops. The drums really kind of set the precedent of what the track is going to, what direction the track's going into. Aside from that, it just was very natural, and we just let it flow. We covered quite a spectrum of styles within 3 days. I was very proud of the amount of work we got done in such a short period of time. It's been one of the best sessions I've had.
We're thinking of making only 2 tracks during the 4 days, but we ended up being like, oh, we should try, because we were quite fast on the 2 first, so we decided to do like a third one, a bit different, like a different BPM, and so Todd added vocals on it, and we played around with that, and it's gonna be very good.